You wonder what happened in sports today. Brandon Petrilli, he got the wave. We talking a lot with bros today. Cracking some jokes the podcast way. Goals on goals, with homers on homers. Tutties on tutties, got moments on moments. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into Petrilli.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the BSP Podcast. And man, 10-1. 10-1, baby. I mean, what an interesting football game from the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. That's all I got to say is the word is interesting. Because you come out, raring to go, put up a touchdown and start the drive. You're running the ball down the throat. Jalen Hurts is what we were saying last week. Teams have keyed in on him as a passer now. What we've been begging for, what we've been asking for the past couple of years is for him to develop as a passer, and that's what he's done this year. He's propelled himself into that category of a passing quarterback that you need to be afraid of, but he's still got the legs to get 60 yards rushing in the first half, even first quarter, I think it was. The guy was electric. Finally getting back to the feet where he was doing that the first couple games, became a passer. Now he's running the ball again. You're keeping defenses on your toes. And I thought everything's going well. You get after Aaron Rodgers, you get a pick. We're up 13 to nothing. And I'm hyped up. I'm talking smack. Eagles are wearing all black. It's the Aaron Rodgers funeral tonight on Sunday Night Football, which it was. I wasn't wrong. I didn't stutter. But when they missed that extra point on that second touchdown, kind of went, uh-oh, a little bit. And it comes back and they make a game of it. Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Fame quarterback, comes back, moves the ball down the field, doing screen passes on them a little bit. We're able to run the ball a little. Guys were open on easy crossing routes. They played soft. And that was the recipe for teams the past couple weeks. Make it a game. Like, nothing's ever easy, right? Fine. Would have been nice just to have a whole big out blowout throughout the rest of the game, but doesn't always work that way. But the defense stepped up. And they made plays when they had to. They got pressure when they had to. Are they a concern of mine? Nah. My biggest concern is whether gardner-johnson will be healthy moving throughout the year here. As of right now when I'm filming, I still haven't heard anything since he went out with the rib injury. We thought it was a shoulder, but I guess a rib. When he just put a shoulder into the guy. Dealing with that kind of injury. We're waiting for Jordan Davis to come back. We'll see. When it comes down to it, Jalen Hurts. All right, go back to my tweet real quick. Make sure you subscribe to the channel first. Click the button, put the bell on at BSP Podcast, and go follow me at Brandon Petrilli on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that jazz. But, I tweeted out, Chris Collinsworth, man. I got a good video of my buddy Robbie after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Chris Collinsworth can, I won't say it, but it's a good video. Hit me up if you want to see it. But the guy he doesn't know when he's complimenting one side and he doesn't another. He gets stuck and fixated on complimenting one person or one side of it. He doesn't know how to compliment both sides at once. He's not good at that. It's always one person or the other. It's never, this guy is a perennial all-pro player, but he's going up against a Hall of Fame caliber player. He's not good at saying that. It's one or the other. And you have Jalen Hurts going up against Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is absolutely dealing, moving the ball, and making Jalen Hurts earn his MVP season. And that's exactly what he did. He earned this MVP game. He earned this MVP season right now. Let's hit a quick break. I sent out a video, a link to all the boys out there. I wanted the people to come in, give us instant reactions, give us a little bit of a shake-up. We got Shane coming in now. Let's see what Shane's got to say here. Yo, Shane, you hear me?
Doing.
All right, we got Shane in here. He's on the BSP podcast. He's been begging for an appearance on the BSP podcast. And this is your moment to shine, Shane. What are we thinking after this big dub? Eagles are 10-1 on the season. Were we feeling rocky throughout the game? Were we confident throughout the whole game? What were we thinking there? A lot of points.
Never had a doubt. Never had a doubt from this first snap to the last kneel. Never
a doubt. Not once.
Not once. No. Even when they came back tied at 2020, never had a doubt this entire time. No.
Yeah, I was texting buddies.
Yeah.
I was texting you guys. I was texting buddies. I'm like, this is Aaron Rodgers' funeral. We're wearing all black for his funeral. And then all of a sudden they come back and I'm like, oof. But I was like, did I stutter? I did not.
Not at all. No.
And the Eagles came back. They would answer time and time again. And that's what a good football team does when it comes down to the end of it there. What did you make of Jalen Hurts' game today, Shane? I mean, it was crazy.
No, it was a great. Before that, though, it's the O-line that really gets the credit tonight.
No, for sure.
I really do. It's the O-line that gets the credit tonight. That many rushing yards, over 350 rushing yards. You can't do that without a remarkable O-line out front, led by Jason Kelce.
Yeah. I mean, Kelce was getting after it. Lane Johnson, they kept hitting that stat where there's like, all right, Lane Johnson hasn't had a sack in over 2 years. And then they would wait a couple snaps. And, oh, yeah, Lane Johnson hasn't had a sack in over 2 years. And you just keep thinking they're hitting it over and over and over again, waiting for that to actually happen and have the tides turn a little bit. But the way that he would go down the field, pull a little bit at that right tackle position, go and chop guys down on the second level, have him, Mailata, Kelce, Dickerson a little bit too. He got rolled up on and they pulled him out for a little bit. I think he came back in, but even Sayamalu had a great game.
He looks great, everyone. Besides the 2 plays in the first quarter where they didn't make that first down.
Yeah.
Which I still respect both those calls. Those are the right play calls, and they make those almost all the time, and those are the 2 exceptions to that. But like those 1 yard, those are their bread and butter.
As a former offensive and defensive lineman, what are some of those keys for those pivotal 3rd and 1, 4th and 1? Is it just timing? Because those plays kind of looked a little off whack there, where they were rushing up a little bit. Kelce's kind of holding the ball a little too long because he knew it was like
it's timing, and it's getting low. It's getting low and getting timing. And once you have a big quarterback, those legs that Jalen has, to just get behind, and that push behind that line is all you need to pick those 1 yards up. You could see on that 4th down that I think it was Salamalu was a little early. That snap was messed up, so that play was kind of busted from first. But if that's a clean snap, I bet they pick that up. And the other before that, I think it was Watkins is not there to pick up the guy coming around that throws Jalen backwards. He's not expecting someone to come around that side on that because someone has to be there. So that's a wide receiver that, they're not the best blockers up there. So I can see what that could be a problem.
Yeah. The big thing, when everybody talks about Jalen Hurts' strength in the weight room, right? He can bench and squat 400 plus pounds at a time. And you were kind of like, well, where is it throwing the ball? But when he runs with it, you can see the difference that his legs and his upper body strength makes, where he can go plant a foot and put a guy into the ground. He can go get that extra 2-3 yards just because of the strength and size and athleticism that he has built up in his body. And it's been great to see. And he has learned, where he had that big run down the sideline. It was like a 40-plus yard run. He had a cornerback that he could have just like planted his foot, ran him over, and maybe got into the end zone. But he was just like, it's not worth it. Go out of bounds. We'll score a touchdown in like a play or two. And that development that where he has been able to see the bigger picture with him, where he doesn't have to be the running guy. He knows when he has to get down because he has an offensive line that will create the holes for him. that he doesn't have to take these big shots. It's been a great thing to see where you know me, I haven't been the biggest Jalen supporter. I've wanted to see him make these steps, and he's making me eat my words over this season, and I am happy for that.
No, he's doing a great job, and he's making those right calls to those RPOs that he's either sending it off or taking it himself or making that throw. He's making the right call, it looks like. So, I mean, 10-1, you really can't argue with the options that he's making. Yeah,
for sure. Before we say goodbye to you, Shane, here, what do you think? What's the makeup of the defense here? Are we worried about the defense? That's my only real question after the end of this game, where you give up 30 points. Yeah.
So
they had their moments, but then they had their moments of lapse.
You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You got 2 great running backs. And then you're missing Jordan Davis up front. Kind of saw them running the ball, having some easy time running the ball, which you kind of saw there. But to be honest, those wide receivers that they had a good game. But I'm not terribly worried at all. So I guess we'll see what comes up next week. But I want to see what the injury is in the secondary to see how he comes back. But besides that, no, I'm not too worried about it. And like I said, 10-1, it's hard to be worried. You got to be confident. And then the next couple games coming out, you should roll, hopefully, going into the playoffs and clinch that number 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, the way that the offense was able to what Chris Collinsworth said, I was talking a little bit about it before you hopped on, was the biggest story is Aaron Rodgers' hand here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Aaron Rodgers' hand is the story, not the way that the Eagles came out. They got responded by the Packers, came back and took the lead. Jalen Hurts then comes back and takes another 14-point lead. And then they come back and chip away again. And the Eagles continue to put points on the board with an offense that has been struggling the past 2-3 weeks now. I mean, that's not the story in itself, not a team that's going 10-1. And that kind of got me a little irritated because the love just wasn't there for guys like Hurts, for even guys like Quez Watkins, who's had a big bounce back in the past couple games. We saw him saying, I'm sorry, after that Colts game where he in the Colts game when he scored the touchdown after he fumbled the ball against the Commanders. Like, these guys have battled. They have gone to where they weren't coasting, right? The first 6 games, 7 games of the season. They're starting to get those battle moments that you need to be able to make a push towards a playoffs, towards a championship, towards a Super Bowl is what we want at the end goal at this season, at this point now. And I'm excited. These moments are what we need moving forward, Shane.
Absolutely. But you never get that love from the national media. It never comes to Philadelphia. And I'm fine with that. And I think we're all fine with that. We all got Philly love here. So go Birds. And we never miss an episode, Brent. Thanks for having me on.
Shout out. Hey, thank you. The all-time, 2-time, all-conference, offensive, defensive lineman, Lower Moreland High School, Shane Barrett. Shout out Cooper Wolf.
There you go.
Never bet the under. Never bet the under is what Shane always says.
Love a good under bet. Yeah, peace out, brother.
See you, Shane. I'm going to wrap up the episode here. All righty. Thank you, Shane, for hopping on the pod. I think that was a good conversation between me and him there. I hope you got a little bit of insight. But moving forward, I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm listening to WIP on the way home. I would never listen to them. Just kidding. As a fanatic, man. But people are like, does the defense concern you? Does this concern you? No, we're 10-1. The Eagles have been finding ways to win these football games. Nick Sirianni's a year 2 head coach. You have play callers with Gannon and Steichen that are year 1 and 2 calling plays. Your leaders, Jalen Hurts is year 2, 3 technically, right, for you. And they're finding ways to win. This is supposed to be the growing pain season for these guys. And they're winning. Normally you lose. You look at what the Lions, the Jets, you lose games when you're figuring that stuff out. You don't go 10-1. When you have the veterans, the depth, the stability that Howie Roseman has put together for this football team around these young leaders to blossom. That's what makes this football team special. That's why you win football games. And that's why they're the best team in the NFL. I didn't stutter. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the BSP Podcast. Go subscribe, click the button, put the bell on. Go Birds, baby. Eagles, Eagles, baby. Let's go.